What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into, I can't believe I'm saying this, a week 9 live stream for us here on the Betting Pros YouTube channel. My name is Matt Perrault. Terrell Furman is supposed to be here. I'm not sure what's going on with Terrell, but maybe he forgot to turn his clocks back and he forgets what time it is today, but he's not here. So while we wait for Terrell, I will get through the games. We'll break them down. We'll go into it here, and we'll talk about what's happening in week number 9. For our best bets, I'll give you my favorite plays, a couple of player props. If you watched the Daily Juice earlier today, you know I was in the airport last night. I rolled here. I'm up. If I sound a bit off or I look a bit off, I apologize because I am operating on a grand total of 4 hours of sleep, I think it is. I landed in Vegas at 2 a.m., which then flipped it back to 1 a.m., and then I'm on East Coast time. So I ended up getting up at 6 a.m. today, and then I couldn't go back to sleep. So not a great morning for me here going into it, but we do have a couple of really good games to get into. We do have some interesting line movements, and we do have some injury news that we will get into coming up here today for us as we roll through week 9 of the NFL. Now, a lot of you guys may be having a World Series hangover after watching that game late last night. That was amazing. Thank goodness we have TVs on planes, because if I had missed that, I think I would have been kicking myself being on a plane with an epic, unbelievable Game 7 in Toronto, won by the LA Dodgers yesterday. So really, really fun sports weekend rolling as we head into Sunday, and then obviously coming up here on Monday. If you guys are in the live chat, you guys can fire questions if you want at me, like JTS Kennedy is asking about Packers or Rams for Survivor. I like them all. I mean, this is where I got 4 games, and I'm not even – whoa, we just chatted there. Here we go. Sorry, flip the overlay. We've got 4 games where I'm just going to follow a trend that is being bet. And I know you guys don't want to hear this, and I'm seeing it in the chat about like professionals don't bet parlays. Guys, I'm telling you, professionals bet what they have an edge on. They don't care what it is, okay? And right now, if you take favorites that are favored by 8 points or more, if you bet them straight up, you are on a 27-1 run, depending on what the number you played with the Ravens on Thursday night. They closed at 7.5 or 8-point favorites. 8 points or more, it's 27-1. You give me any trend in 27-1, and I'm going to bet that trend every single time. I mean, that is that's just what I'm going to bet. So do I think the Rams win? Yes. The Packers win? Yes. Chargers win? Yes. Lions win? Yes. They just win the game. We are not seeing, even though we saw 2 crazy wins with the Dolphins beating the Falcons, that number was nowhere near 8. That was a crazy one. And then we saw the Bengals losing to the Jets. And again, not a line, that was 5.5 was that number. So nowhere near 8. If you go with 6 points or more, it's 69-10-1. If you want to play that trend out even farther, favorites of 6 points or more in the NFL are 69-10-1 ATS. If you go to the game with the Ravens, because that game closed at 7.5 or 8. So we're talking about all of these numbers. And so I'm a trend better. Okay. It doesn't mean I'm going to be right. It doesn't mean I'm going to win, okay? But I am a trend better. And when you look at the numbers and you look at the matchups, just take the matchup for a second. The Titans are god-awful. The Saints are horrible, okay? These are bad football teams. These are not good teams. The Lions are playing the Vikings. Jared Goff owns the Vikings, okay? The Packers are playing the Panthers on the road. We know what the Panthers are on the road. They're kitty cats. They're kittens. At home, different story. But on the road, I don't care who's playing quarterback. If it's Bryce Young or it's a Red Rifle, it doesn't matter to me. Panthers on the road. Packers aren't losing at home today. It would be stunning if that were to happen. It's 27-1 straight up, Jaden. Straight up. Not with the spread. It's point up. It's straight up, okay? So I'm not talking about these teams covering big numbers. I'm talking about teams winning the game straight up, okay? So that's my first play today in terms of numbers. Call it square, Call it stupid. Laying that much juice is dumb. I'm not going to debate. Laying 140 is not a bet I tend to make on a 4-leg money line parlay, okay? This is not normal. If you've been with me here on the Juice since the pandemic days of June and July of 2020, when the Daily Juice podcast started, you have heard me preach against parlay betting from the get-go and said this is a race to the bottom. It is a bad idea, okay? It is negative EV. It's not smart. But at certain points in time, you just got to play the board. You got to play what's in your favor. And when things are rolling in this way, sure, one team loses, the bet loses. The number is not right. I mean, a 4-leg money line parlay, we're not paying proper juice on this. We should be getting plus money easy on this. It's a 4-legger. But because the number, because the juice that we're looking at, this is just what the NFL is right now. It's a lot of haves. It's a lot of have-nots. And the have-nots are getting beaten consistently by the teams that are good. And the Rams, Chargers, Packers, and Lions are good. In what order are they good? I don't know. I'd probably put the Chargers at the bottom. I like the Rams more than most people. The Lions are at home against a divisional opponent in which Jared Goff is really good against the Vikings. So we've got Jared Goff and the Vikings. That's a matchup I would take every time. I like the over in that game as well. Like the Lions team total in that game as well. So you look at just how that game should play out. Should be a high-scoring affair. J.J. McCarthy is coming back to play quarterback behind an offensive line that got Carson Wentz's shoulder blown apart. And they can't run the football against one of the best rushing defenses in the NFL and a top 10 defensive pass rush for the Lions, who are going to pin their ears back. And Hutchinson just signed a mega deal. He wants to go prove that by taking J.J. McCarthy's head off today. So, okay, I'm going with the Lions on that. So that's just where we are. The Patriots not losing today, it's part of my teaser. I have a teaser I'm going to give you, so it's part of my teaser. So I'll just tell you on that. But, you can tease those games. Yes. What about teasing those games, Matt? Bri F1 wants to know that. I don't mind teasing it. It's just that you're leaving a gap where you could get beat. It's a 4-legger, okay? You want to get beat on a hook? I would prefer you round robining that, okay? If you're going to do a 4-legger and not do a money line, if you're going to avoid the money line parlay and you're going to avoid what you're going to pay, because look, a 6-point teaser, when the number's 9.5, okay, you're pulling it down to 3.5. If they win by 3, I win, you get hooked. So do you really want to have that happen? Okay, now you're betting a 7-point teaser. The juice keeps going up. Now a 7-point teaser, okay, so you're pulling 9.5 down to 2.5. Okay, but you still get beat if they win by 2. I just, if I'm going to lay 4 legs, I don't want to get into that. I want to lay it down and just know that if the team I'm picking to win wins by 1 point, I'm good. I don't need to try to thread the needle any more than I already am. So that would be my that would be my concern. You could also get to the bets. These are the bets. Well, what are you thinking I'm talking about, Pointy Claus? These are the bets. 4-leg money line parlay. This is the bet. Okay. Yes. Minus 140, 4-leg money line parlay. Rams, Lions, Chargers, and the Packers. That's a 4-leg money line parlay that I have made. Okay. Yes. That's a play. Official play, Daily Juice. That's a bet. So we are talking about the bets. Open your ears. So this is where I think if you look at it in terms of how the Lions will approach this game, I don't think J.J. McCarthy and this Vikings offense scores much against this defense. So that's my only concern about the over. My only worry about the total of this game between the Lions and the Vikings is that the Vikings don't score. And then we're sitting here and we're like, oh, wow, here we go. Special teaser is the best. A 3-team 10-point teaser at minus 110. That's an offshore bet, Troy. I don't know. That's not really an onshore bet. That's an offshore bet. I'm not sure how many offshore bets are doing that on that. So, I like it. I do, but you don't see many books give you a 10-point teaser at minus 110. Now, there may be some bonuses, maybe some bonus money, but, I don't know. So, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, there is no solo overlay for me on this show. It's okay. If we have like a Daily Juice or we have a Betting Pros little bug, Sal, you can put that in the corner so people can know what they're watching when they tune in. But, that's just, we apologize for this was not supposed to be a solo show, so that's why we're not set up the way we're supposed to be set up. Coming up on that. Cole says DK gave me a ghost leg bonus, so I bet a 4-leg money line and then use the ghost leg to do the same 4-leg teaser at -2.5. Okay. I mean, there's different ways. If the books are going to give you different options to play around with it, then yeah, I think it's okay to do that. You can get involved in the market in different ways, and the books give you some bonus stuff, but not everybody has access to those bonus plays. There's been line movement. Let's start with Chicago and Cincinnati. There's been line movement here. Number opening up at 1.5. We're now up to 3 here for Chicago. The news about what's going on with Joe Flacco's arm today. We'll see what the game time decision is going to be for Joe Flacco to play quarterback today for the Bengals. Bears need it. 3 points on the road favorites. BetMGM's down to 2.5. Hard Rock's at 2.5. ESPN bets at 2.5. So they haven't gotten the money that DraftKings, FanDuel, Circa, and the Superbook and Caesars have received. We'll see if that comes in late here, but most books are at 3. You can find a 2.5 in the marketplace. This is a massive no play. Flacco is active. Thank you for that, Mike. Flacco being active. So I think there is I'm surprised with Flacco being active. I am kind of surprised that number is where that number is, to be honest with you. And number being 3 is home dog Cincinnati with Joe Flacco against that Bears defense. That's okay. Interesting. The 3 points takes it away from a Wong teaser, but the total knocks it out from a Wong teaser anyway, because we're up to 52.5 at some books here. 51.5 is the prevailing number. 52, I guess, is the high. Sorry. Circa's at 52. So money on the over with Joe Flacco being active here for the Bengals, playing through that AC joint injury, but wanting to go and wanting to play. The Niners and the Giants, this was the game that fell off my card. The last bet I scratched off that I did not make, that I would have made, is the 49ers. When I did the show on Tuesday, when we were talking between Pat Fitzmaurice and myself every Tuesday for our early bets show that drops Tuesday afternoon, I was really close to taking the 49ers. It was one of my plays on Tuesday saying take the 49ers. I think they win the game, but I'm a little bit hesitant here just because of the number of injuries the Niners are having. Brock Purdy versus Mac Jones. Like, what is going on with the quarterback position here? I didn't want to get burned last night betting it, going like, all right, so I'm going to bet Brock Purdy and then Mac Jones plays, or Mac Jones plays and actually it's Brock Purdy. So I don't really know what to do here with this. So this is a big no play game for me on this. I really don't know what to do with this one. And it stinks because I think this is going to be a pretty interesting game. I need the Niners to win this game for a variety of reasons. 1, I bet them to win the NFC West. And 2, I have the under 5.5 on the Giants for a win total. I just don't know how the Giants really score, given the fact that there's no Malik Neighbors and now there's no Cam Scatterboo. You're asking a lot out of Jackson Dart, but he does play much better at home. And the Niners defense has been giving up points with all the injuries they've been suffering through. I mean, Robert Saleh was doing it with with gum and bubble tape, trying to get things together. And then it didn't work out the way you'd want it to. So, San Francisco money line in Seattle -3. I don't mind that play. That's not horrible, Seth, on that. I do think the Niners win. As I said, if I was taking if I was in a contest where I had to bet every game, I would 100% be on the 49ers to win this game here at 2.5, though. I don't know. 47 is the total. I mean, if you're a Giants fan, you can Wong tease this and pull this from 2.5 up to 8.5. I don't think the Giants lose today by more than 7 points, but maybe they get blown out at home. If Jackson Dart doesn't play well and throws a bunch of picks today, maybe that's what winds up happening. But the movement is interesting with the Patriots and the Falcons, because we have seen professional money on the Falcons pretty much all week, but there is respected money in the market that's driving this number up. This number at Circa is now 5.5. Okay, this is getting into that territory where you're going, okay, where are we? If we get to, I got 5.5 and I teased it down. The other side of my teaser is Lions -2.5 and the Patriots minus. I pulled it down. It was a 6-point teaser. I pulled it down through 0 and got it down to 1.5. But now, because of the Lions number being 9.5, you'd have to play a 7-point teaser to get that. I want that Lions number below 3. Okay, if you're going to tease the Lions game, I want that thing below 3. I got it last night at 8.5. It's now 9.5. Get to that game in a second. But that's where, for me, I look at this Patriots team and I go, okay, So everybody's on Bijan Robinson to have a big game catching the football, which could happen. In the screen game, the Patriots defense has not been that great, but they have not allowed a runner to go over 50 yards rushing so far this year. And you know Bijan Robinson's the bell cow for this team with Michael Penix Jr. coming back, and I know Drake London's coming back. But that defense got lit up by Tua, who this morning we learned from ESPN in their report that Tua is going to get benched. If things keep on going south here, Mike McDaniel is going to bench Tua. They're going to tank. The Dolphins are going to tank. And the Falcons got blown out by a team that wants to tank at home yesterday, or last week, rather. So now you have a dome team going outdoors to a blustery, I was just there yesterday, okay? It's 50 degrees. It's gorgeous. It's a nice fall day in New England, but this is not what you see from Atlanta, from a dome team having to go out east to go and play. So I just think there's a lot to look at here as how this all unfolds and how this game is going to go, because Drake May is crushing it. He is absolutely playing at an MVP type level. And I don't think Mike Vrabel is going to let his guys overlook anybody. The Patriots own the Falcons. Okay. It goes back to 28-3, but it's beyond that. They own the Falcons. Okay. So you're talking about a franchise. One team just owns the other. You have a defense that's being incredibly opportunistic, and I think the Patriots will give up points today. I don't think this is going to be like it was last week. But the idea that the Patriots lose at home to the Falcons, knowing that the Bills are playing the Chiefs later today, if the Chiefs win that game, the Patriots' lead in this division starts to become a little bit of a problem for the Buffalo Bills because they have lost the head-to-head matchup already. The Patriots would go to 7-2. The Bills will fall to 5-3. Not only would they be a game behind the Patriots in the loss column, they will be behind them a game and a half because of the head-to-head. And the Patriots' schedule is a joke. I mean, call a spade a spade. The Patriots' schedule is an absolute joke. And so this is huge for the confidence of Drake May. It's huge for the confidence of Mike Vrabel to get these guys to believe in what he is saying. And they're playing at home at Foxborough. This was a game all year long that if you broke down the Patriots schedule, you of course put this into the win column for the Patriots. Now, I don't know if you put the win at Buffalo in the win column, but this is a team that lost at home to the Steelers and at home to the Raiders. You don't lose home games in New England, okay? Like, you can lose road games. You can't lose home games. If you're Mike Vrabel, you can't lose home games. Those are the fans. They're paying your salary. You got to get these guys ready to go. The Raider game was the first game of the year. That was a complete anomaly. And then the Steeler game was the 5-turnover Ramondre Stevenson fumbling twice at the goal line game, and the Patriots lost 21-14. They should have won that game against the Steelers. I mean, you can make a really good case. The Patriots, they didn't play well against the Raiders. They deserved to lose that game, but they should have beaten the Steelers. And it should be a 7-1 mark for the Patriots, not 6-2. They play the Falcons, and then they play the Bucs on the road next week. That's the game they lose. I mean, that's the game that they go down there and they get a little taste of where they are because the competition level will rise. I mean, the Buccaneers are going to be one of the teams to beat in the NFC. They're going to be a difficult out with Baker Mayfield. Like, I know losing Mike Evans is a big deal, but that's the game. If you're looking at the Patriots, like, that's the game. So I don't think it's going to be today. And look, Kush, bet the Falcons. If you think the Falcons can beat them, bet it. I mean, there's a great number. That's a great number. Moneyline price on the Falcons right now is 2-1. Okay, 210, 205. Bet them. I mean, if you think the Falcons can go to the Patriots and win this game, bet it. There are professionals who agree with you that the Falcons will do this. But the Falcons are 1-2 on the road. They're 3-4 overall. They lost to the 49ers 20-10. They lost at home to the Dolphins 34-10. If you're telling me that they're going to go into Foxborough and beat the Patriots, okay. It'll blow up this teaser, okay? I'm not putting it as part of my 4-leg moneyline parlay because it does not factor into that game. But I just think the Patriots are going to be able to move the football. Drake May over 1.5 touchdown tosses, okay? It's a rinse and repeat. Okay, that's a rinse and repeat type bet to me. Just bet it every week. Drake May over 1.5 touchdown tosses. He throws the best deep ball of anybody in the NFL, and that includes Patrick Mahomes. Okay, that's how good this guy is playing at the moment. He's throwing the deep ball. Mahomes doesn't throw the deep ball anymore. That offense in KC, they don't do that anymore. They don't throw the ball deep. So, we'll see what happens with that. Sal, you could just tell him he doesn't have to. I mean, I'm going to go here for like 15 more minutes and then I'm going to be out. So like you can just pass it along to Terrell. He can hop in if he wants to give his bets out late, but I'm not going to go through all these games all over again. Colts and the Steelers. So this is the game that I'm on the Colts. The pros are on the Steelers. Okay. This is for me. If you want to go and take a hard look at what has happened over the last couple of days amongst this game, I have the Colts as the number one team in football. Okay. I have the Colts. I'm going to move the camera over, guys, for a second. So sorry, until we can frame this up a little bit better. Hold on. Let me frame it up a little bit better for us. One more. Hold on. I have the Colts as the number one team in football, and Steelers money line. There are plenty of people betting Steelers money line, and I get it. This is the third time that they're facing back-to-back games as home dogs under Mike Tomlin. This is only 3 times it's happened. In the 2 other previous times, Mike Tomlin won one of the 2 games. So getting killed by the Packers, I think the Packers are one of the best teams in football. I think the Packers are going to be a really difficult out in the postseason. Again, I've talked about betting the Packers to win the Super Bowl. So losing to the Packers, somewhat respectable. If you look at it and go, all right, lose to the Packers, not the end of the world. I just think the Colts are better than people think. And I think Daniel Jones under pressure today, the way the Steelers win football games is their defense blows up offenses. Daniel Jones is the best quarterback right now under pressure in the league. He just doesn't turn the football over. If the Colts don't throw picks, if Daniel Jones does not get intercepted today, Daniel Jones wins and covers at Pittsburgh. If he does, if he throws picks, my bet's dead. Colts lose. Steelers win the game outright. Okay. I'm not sure the point spread comes into play here much today. I think if you like the Steelers to cover +3, take the money line. I think they win the game. I think if you're like me, you lay the 3 points with the Colts. Colts win the game. I don't think we sweat the side too much coming up on this. I like the Colts here at -3. We mentioned Carolina in Green Bay. That number is all the way up to 13 or 13.5 at FanDuel. That's ridiculous. Carolina, good luck on the road against Green Bay. We talked about Minnesota and Detroit already. This number is up to 9.5. Again, Detroit wins this game by 10 points. They cover. Detroit team total over. Detroit money line is part of the parlay. Detroit teased down under 2.5. Now it's a 7-point teaser, but I got it last night as a 6-point teaser. I have a lot invested in the Lions, in the Vikings. If the Vikings come out and win that game, it's going to ruin my day. Like, I got everything rolled up here in the Lions to take care of business today at home at 1:00. If that doesn't happen, I'm in deep trouble. You look at Denver and Houston, you look at what we've seen over the last couple of days for this number, it's been ping-ponging all over the place. I can see an underplay in this game, but why is all the money coming in on the over for Denver and Houston? It opened up at 38.5. We're up to 41.5 here at most books. Some books are at 41. You have a total, you have a side of Houston -1.5 or Houston -2.5. I don't mind a first half play here on the Texans. Texans have been very good in the first half under DeMeco Ryans. You've got a pretty hostile environment for the Broncos to walk into, and they're flying high after what just happened last week in the way that they performed and how many points they played. They looked great on this. So I could easily see that. And then LA, the Chargers against Tennessee, that number is coming down in certain books. We're down to 9.5 at BetMGM, 9.5 at ESPN Bet, 10 at Superbook, 10.5 at FanDuel, 9.5 at Circa. But the Chargers losing at Tennessee today, I can't see that. I'm sorry. I just can't see a loss here for the Chargers on the road. It just doesn't make any sense to me for that. Chargers money line, part of my parlay. That's the only thing I want to see. Cam Ward probably under his completions. I think it's 20.5 for Cam Ward. I like the Chargers to run the football, play ball control, and get a W. Maybe not cover, but get a W on that. Guys, today's show is being brought to you by Hard Rock Bet. It's that golden time of the year where it's not just pro football. We're talking about NBA, college football, hockey, all share the stage. That's why there's always something to bet on. You haven't tried your first bet on Hard Rock Bet yet. There's still time to get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Just place $5. If it hits, you not only get your winnings, but $150 in bonus bets. And if you're looking for an edge before you lock it in, check out Hard Rock Bets in the Stats Hub. It's loaded with trends, streaks, and stats to help you guide your picks. Numbers don't lie, and neither do the data in there. The Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook app is the only legal sports sportsbook for whenever you're in Florida, but it's also in Arizona, Ohio, New Jersey, Indiana, Tennessee, Virginia, Illinois, and Colorado. More states like Nevada coming soon. Plus, Hard Rock Bet offers new promos every single day. So whenever you're listening, just open the app, check out what you've got any day of the week, download the Hard Rock Bet app, and make your first deposit today. We go to the afternoon slate here, coming up here for here in Vegas, actually, Jacksonville and the Raiders. This number is set at 2.5. It is been coming down. Initially opened up at 3. Jacksonville is a team I would not back with anyone's money at the moment. I like the Raiders here +3, but I think the Raiders. Oh, there you are. Hey, Terrell, how are you?
What's going on?
So I talked about this game a lot earlier in the week, but how do you feel about Jacksonville in Vegas? Because this is a must-win game for the Raiders here in town, because if they lose this game, things have gone really, really, I think the whole season goes south for Pete Carroll and company if they lose at home to Jacksonville tonight.
I think they have an out and possibly trying to blame Geno Smith, but because his quarterback play has been so atrocious. And Matt, Geno Smith to throw an interception today is not horribly priced today, just so you know. He's doing it all the time, and so I think that maybe you could have an out in Geno Smith for them, but with this, I don't even know if they can get that. This Jags team also feels like they're desperate and they got to get a win. And Trevor Lawrence has to find a way to look good. And that defense has been able to turn the ball over force teams to turn the ball over. And the Raiders have not been able to stop turning the ball over, whether it's Geno Smith, whether it's fumbling of the football, whether it's any of that. They can't get consistent offense. And so I think it's this Jags team to figure it out. But I'm telling you, the Jags have just some of the natural worst football luck ever. I don't believe it.
Yeah, the Jaguars on the road. I know I can't call Vegas a hostile environment because it's not, but it's a game.
It could have the crowd.
Yeah, we know there's no Jags fans here, but Geno Smith has to play off of a bye. He has to play better, and I think they're going to run the ball. I think it's all going to be Ashton Genty. I think it's going to be a pretty conservative game plan for the Raiders, and I just think that you can't put Geno. I mean, look, everyone's in a lot of ways. I don't think Pete Carroll gets fired in year 1, but Chip Kelly could get fired in year 1 here. So this offense needs to stop turning the football over. This offense needs to perform a lot better than it has. And I think that there's going to be a pretty interesting first half here in Vegas in this late game, where if the Raiders aren't coming out with their hair on fire, if Max Crosby is not getting after it and eating that offensive line for the Jaguars, it might get hostile in the second half here in Vegas. It could get ugly for the home team here. The crowd might turn on them. The number is 14 for the Rams in New Orleans. I've been talking about it on the show, Terrell, about the fact that Moneyline parlays have been very successful for teams being favored by 8 points or more. It's a 27-1 run straight up in the NFL over the last 28 games. You see any shot that we see an upset here where the Rams lose at home to the Saints?
I mean, it's one of those survivor upsets, if you want to say that. How much do you believe in the survivor play going to affect something? Because everybody played the Rams in survivor. I think that's one of those, when we look at it after the fact and people are like, oh, the Rams, they just blew up survivor. But I personally do not see it. I just don't think Tyler Shuck in his first start ever going and playing this Rams defense right now, with how they're being able to get the pressure to the quarterback. We have no idea what Tyler Shuck looks like for real as an NFL quarterback. He looked about just as decent, maybe a little bit better than Spencer Rattler, and that's why they went to make the decision. But it's going to be, can he get the ball to those playmakers on the outside, and can they be able to really stretch that Rams secondary? And I don't know if they're going to be able to do that consistently. So maybe they go out here and they have some get up spots similar to they did against the Bills, where they were catching all those points against the Bills and they're able to keep the game close throughout. But I don't think they're going to win this at all.
Yeah, it is a survivor pool. I mean, people are following. If you want to talk about here in Vegas with the Circus Survivor contest with 2,000 entries left after the 18,000 plus that came in for the $18 million prize, they're going with the same trend that I'm betting in terms of, the Ravens were a play. They were 8-point favorites. They're playing. The Packers are a big play. The Lions are a big play. The Chargers are a big play. And the Rams, those are your top 5 survivor picks so far. So do we go 5-0? Yeah, I think it's really likely that we go 5-0 with the top plays. And this is just one of those move along weeks for survivor pools, because if you have any of those 5 teams available, I think you feel pretty good about the chances of your team winning. I have Tyler Shuck going under 20.5 receptions. That's my prop in this game. Rams money line, and then Tyler Shuck not to have a good game throwing the football, because I think he's going to have no time. I think the Rams are going to get after him and make his life really difficult. Maybe he shows out and does plays extremely well here in his first start on the road, but fading rookie quarterbacks on the road has been a pretty profitable thing in the NFL. So I don't like the chances for an upset here today with the Rams at home. Sunday Night Football is not KC in Buffalo, which is somewhat surprising. I thought this game would be. I have followed our brethren Andrew Erickson with his play on the team total side of Buffalo here. I like the Bills to go over 26.5 points today, but where are you on Chiefs and the Bills?
So I feel like we see this story, and we've seen it for this time, multiple years here, Matt. The Chiefs do not win this game in the regular season. The Bills are all the way locked into this game in the regular season. They have constantly knocked them off. And we talk about the history of it every single time. Oh, the Bills get them in the regular season. Here go the Chiefs getting it done in the playoffs where they need to get it done. I think right here, this is a spot for the Buffalo Bills. I think Josh Allen is going to put this team on his back. I like Josh Allen to go over 229.5 passing yards here today. I think that's a really good prop where he's been over this in his last 3 regular season meetings against Pat Mahomes and this Chiefs team. And is Josh Allen versus Spagnuolo, and is Josh Allen at home, this team at home, being able to put up and move the points at home. I think the run game for the Chiefs is actually really solid defensively, and I think it's going to struggle on James Cook, and they're going to have to find ways to move the football. And here comes Josh Allen just looking at and diming down the field and figuring out different ways to push to Shakir, to all those other outside weapons. I think Kincaid can have a little bit of a solid game here. So I like the offense in this game. I think it's going to be a little bit of a kind of back and forth here game, but I think Josh Allen's going to continue to do what he does in the regular season, and that's just win a lot of football games. So I like that Patrick Mahomes is not a dog in this spot. Doesn't make me fall to the Patrick Mahomes as a dog standpoint. I think this is a perfect time to buy in on Buffalo Bills. So I like the Bills.
Yeah, it's a big game. The Patriots win today. The Bills know that they got to keep pace because they already lost the head-to-head. So they'd be a game and a half behind New England in the divisional race if they lose at home to the Bills. It would be, to the Chiefs. It would be another home loss for the Bills as well if they were to lose. They should have lost to the Ravens earlier. They were fortunate to win that game, and now they'd have a loss at home to the Patriots and a loss at home to the Chiefs rather. So big game. I'm with you. I think the Bills do win the football game. I'm playing Shakur on over 50.5 receiving and rushing yards. I think he'll have a big screen game or reverse game for the Bills, trying to take advantage of that pass rush for Kansas City. But this is a big game. I'm surprised it's not Sunday Night Football, that it's sitting here, given the history between these two teams. It's normally the marquee game of the day, but it's just going to be in the 4:00 Eastern time window versus being on Sunday Night Football. But I'm with you. I like the Bills. I'm not going to bet it. I'm just going to go ahead and take the prop and take the team prop at over. I think the Bills do score. I'm with you on offense. I think we do see some offense for Buffalo here against the Chiefs defense. It's been good, but I think I'm with you. I think the Bills are locked in here against the Chiefs in the regular season. Guys, you can track your bets and get line alerts straight to your phone by downloading the BettingPros app with Sportsbook Sync. Automatically track your bets across all major sportsbooks in one spot. Easily monitor your bet performance by sport and bet type, including game picks, props, and parlays. Create custom betting systems to find winning trends and profitable opportunities. New users can get 6 months of BettingPros Premium for free with your first deposit at one of our partner sportbooks. Learn more by going to bettingpros.com/premium. Here's a game I've added, Terrell, to my card here. I've gone back and forth on it, and I finally fired on it. It got below 3.5. It got back to 2.5, and I came in and took it with Seattle. I like Mike McDonald on the road here against the Commanders to get a W. I like the defense for whatever reason. Mike McDonald's a much better head coach, and his teams play much better away from home for whatever reason. I didn't like the Commanders coming into the year. Don't like many of the teams in the NFC East. I like Seattle tonight to win and cover. Where are you on Sunday night?
Yeah, I like Seattle as well. I think that I'm bought into this Seattle team and the fact that the defense is just gnarly and nasty and they're going to get after it. And it's really, really hard to run the football. And when it makes you one dimensional like that, it's so many different things they can do with a scheme back there when they know you're not going to be able to move the football on the ground. And so this Commanders team has been nicked, beat up, injured, and they're trying to figure out their groove. And I think Seattle's just trucking and rolling along the way. And unfortunately for the Commanders, they needed an easier game to come up in this spot, and they're not going to get it. I think the Seattle team is going to be really, really tough. Sam Darnold and JSN just have that connection, and Jackson Smith-Njigba is that wide receiver. Like DK Metcalf had to get out of the way for Jackson Smith-Njigba to be able to flourish in this offense where he's now getting all of the targets. He's constantly wide open. I think he's going to put some serious pressure on that Washington secondary. So, yeah, I'm all over this Seattle team as well. I haven't played it yet, but I think I'm going to have a play on it by the time we get to Sunday Night Football. But I like Commanders to get beat by the Seattle Seahawks as well.
Yeah, I'm surprised that we've seen some numbers to pull it back down below 3, that there is Washington money, at least here in Vegas. The pro money's coming in on Washington and liking what the Commanders can do at home. But I like Seattle on the road. I like Sam Darnold. Again, for whatever reason, they play better away from home than they do coming up here at home. All right, I know you hopped in late, so let's get to your card here. You can go through it and as to what you like coming up here for today, Terrell.
Yeah, I like the Minnesota Vikings, a close your eyes special. Yep. Plus, it's a lot of points. It's a division matchup, but I think that this Minnesota Vikings team, I trust Kevin O'Connell, and Kevin O'Connell shows me that he can coach up a solid offense. And I think they're going to be able to move the football against this Lions secondary that is beat up, battered, and bruised all throughout. And so with Justin Jefferson, with not Jackson Smith-Njigba, Jordan Addison, you will be able to move the football. So I think that they're going to be able to put up points. I like the over as well, Ford Field over, and then the Broncos team total under. That defense for the Texans is so good. Number 1 scoring defense in the NFL. I am not the big Bo Nix believer. I think that he struggles against good offenses. And if you look at the numbers, if you have a top 10 offense, Bo Nix is going to struggle to move football. So I don't think they're going to be able to push the ball down the field today. I like the team total under for the Broncos under 19.5. And then Bijan Robinson over 37.5 receiving yards. The linebackers for the Patriots are very, very good in the run game, but not as good in coverage, giving up a lot of targets to the running back position, second to last in the NFL. Bijan Robinson, one of the best pass catching running backs, if not the best pass catching running back in the league. So I like him to get over his receiving yards. Tyler Warren for the Colts, that's the offense. That's all it is. You give the ball to Jonathan Taylor, then you pass it to Tyler Warren. Yeah. That's all you do. Don't do anything else. Over 54.5 receiving yards. You have a Pittsburgh Steelers defense that's 23rd in pass DVOA to the tight end position. I think that they're going to tackle Tyler Warren very often in the pass game. I like him to get over his 54.5 receiving yards. And then Josh Allen, I talked about it earlier, over 29.5 passing yards. He's been over his last 3 regular season games against the Chiefs. I think he's going to put on his Superman cape and try to carry this Bills team to a win in Buffalo against the Kansas City defense that he has played well against in the past. So that's what I like on my card today, Matt.
Yeah, I like your props. I mean, the Bijan. I mean, Robert Spillane has been great in the run game, but it's why the Raiders let him go to New England was because of his inability to cover. And so I do think Bijan. I don't think he's going to run very well today, but I do think he'll be pretty active. And with Drake London, I think you're going to see the passing attack. I think the Falcons will have a shot to move the football on the Patriots today. So I like that play. The Warren play I like a lot. I'm on the Colts laying 3 on the road against the Steelers. So I like your props. Just to refresh my plays here, Sal, go ahead and throw my card up. I like the Colts -3 against the Steelers until further notice. I'm not betting against the Colts. They're my number 1 team in football at the moment. I know everyone says Daniel Jones is going to turn back into a pumpkin. Maybe today's the day he does it, but if he doesn't get picked off, Colts win against a bad Steelers defense. I like the Seahawks -3 against the Commanders. We talked about it. I think Washington gets a kind of a taste of what Seattle might look like for the rest of the year. Frankly, I think the Seahawks team is going to be a problem for a lot of teams in the NFC. Team total for the Bills, I'm going over 26.5. I'm with you, Terrell, on the offense for Buffalo. I think they're going to get an opportunity here to score against the Chiefs defense and move the football, frankly, against Kansas City. I like my teaser. It's Lions -2.5, and the Patriots, you can just tease it down to a half a point or whatever you want. But the Lions now are at 9.5. So in order to get that number, you're going to have to put it to a 7-point teaser, which that's a personal choice. If you want to, lay that type of juice on a 2-leg teaser, most books are going to charge you $135 or $140 for a 7-point teaser. But I want that Lions game to go under 3 points just to guarantee. I'd be stunned. Stunned if the Lions lose to the Vikings, given what Jared Goff's record has been against the Vikings. He owns Minnesota. The 4-leg Moneyline parlay, which is the chalkiest of chalk, is Packers, Lions, Rams, Chargers. That's a 27-1 straight up trend that I'm firing on. The juice is ridiculous at -140, but I'm jumping in. My 2-player props, Tyler Shock to go under 20.5 completions. I think the Rams are going to make his life a living hell today. And the Rams get a big win today against a bad football team in New Orleans. And I like Shakur to go over 50.5 rushing and receiving yards. We talked about it a lot, the Buffalo Bills offense, for them to come in and get an opportunity to move the ball. And I think Shakur will have a big game in the receiving and rushing game, part of the offense here for Buffalo, with reverses and trying to use some of that pass rush speed against the Buffalo Bills here. And Shakur could be the guy that gets focused for this offense for the Buffalo Bills coming up. Sal, what are you putting in here? Aaron Rodgers dealing with an apparent hand injury during pregame warm-up. Thank you, Sal.
All
right, let's see if there's do we have any line move after this?
That's over.
Well, ESPN bets at 3.5, so you've seen a little movement there. It's coming off of 3, so we'll see if the number moves off of 3 and we get Colt money late here before kickoff. We're watching DraftKings is -120 now, -108 at Caesars.
That is a throwing hand.
Yeah, that's a throwing hand. Yeah,
that's a throwing hand. Oh my God.
So Rodgers is dealing with an apparent injury, which is bad news for Pittsburgh. Good job hiding that if you're the Steelers from the public and from if you knew it, maybe that's why the number didn't move. The number stayed at 3 and hasn't moved off that. But I know pros that are on the Steelers, but I'm on the Colts until further notice at -3. Guys, just one more reminder, you can get 6 months of Betting Pros Premium for free. Just make a deposit and place your wager at a partner sportsbook. Premium gives you access to Sharp AI, our betting systems, the prop bet cheat sheet, and the same game parlay builder, all the tools you need to be a better, a smarter, better. Claim your upgrade now by going to bettingpros.com/premium. All right, Terrell, on the way out, any thoughts for week 9 in closing?
In closing, I would just like to say the Close Your Eyes special, 5-2 this week. Close Your Eyes special games will be Vikings +9.5, Falcons +5.5, and the Panthers plus, was it 13.5, 12.5? So Panthers one is just ugly. But the other two Close Your Eyes specials, those are ugly Close Your Eyes specials that can win. So I'm rooting for those this week.
Yeah, the only one I could see the Patriots not covering. I can't see the Patriots losing. Just given what we've seen historically from this team under Mike Vrabel over the last 8-9 weeks of what they have done, I can't see them losing. Maybe winning by 3, but Michael Penix outdoors against that defense and that offense for the Patriots throwing a deep ball.
It would literally be Bijan had some crazy game and carried this offense. That's how I think of it.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, look, it's the NFL and anything can happen. In the Patriots, everyone's waiting for them to turn back into a pumpkin. I just don't think it happens at home, given the 2 losses they've already suffered at home. And so with having 3 losses on the card at home for Mike Vrabel will not sit well with anybody in New England. I was just there for a week. So there's a lot of excitement. Drake May is the new darling. Maybe he goes out there and throws 3 interceptions and that Falcons defense really, makes his life problematic. But the Patriots have, when they don't turn the football over, they're a very difficult team to beat, in particular at home. So 5.5. I know pros are on the Falcons. I mean, I get that. I cannot go follow you on the Vikings. That play, I cannot follow you on that. The numbers are so bad for the Vikings with JJ McCarthy and that offensive line. There's just so many things.
I have Kevin O'Connell. Come on, Kevin O'Connell.
Kevin O'Connell's not Kevin O'Connell anymore. He should have kept Sam Darnold because he clearly is having a tough time with JJ McCarthy because he was a healthy scratch the last 2 weeks and he allowed Carson Wentz to go ahead and get his ass kicked behind that offensive line for the last 2 weeks. It was
soft benching. I agree.
It was and that's scary going into a game in which the Lions are coming, pin their ears back and look out on that. So He is Terrell Furman. I am Matt Perrault. We're back next week, week 10. We are here for 1 hour before kickoff each and every week here on the Betting Pros YouTube channel. Thank you for being here. He's got fast break bets. I've got the daily juice. Tomorrow, we have more coming at you, NBA and more betting tomorrow. But for now, let's go watch some 1 o'clock football here, guys. Thanks for being here.